Hey everybody, I'm back on to talk about my apartment thing and to talk about different ways to hear or discern your inner guidance. To hear or discern your inner guidance. So, one of the things that happened is, again, I think I shared yesterday, I got a notice um, that said my apartment lease rent was going up significantly. And at first, I couldn't hear my inner guidance. I had too much shit going on inside of me, as we all do when things like that come up, right? Like we have our initial wave of all of those thoughts and feelings. And so sometimes it can be really hard to hear or discern what we actually want to do. And we can get into a sense of, uh, I can get into a sense of freezing or like just feeling stuck. And what I've learned is to give myself a lot of grace and space to talk it out. Now, I don't know how many of you have studied human design. Human design is a way of understanding how your energy works, how your aura works, how you make decisions in life, how you make decisions in life, things like that. So I'm a projector, and as a projector, what I've learned is that I have to talk it out with someone. I have to talk it out, not to hear their insights or necessarily for them to solve anything for me, but to talk out loud so I can hear and have it reflected back to me. Um, yeah, what I'm noticing, like what the different ideas are. So that looked like I talked to my sisters about the different options. Should I stay in my neighborhood? Should I, well, maybe I should stay in the neighborhood until Aiden gets done with eighth grade, and maybe I should, um, but do I really want to pay that amount of rent? There was like all this back and forth going on inside my head. So for me, one of the big things was I had to talk it out. The other thing I had to do was really work with, I've learned to create a strong, supportive inner voice. The part of me, meaning like the way I talk to myself during those times, is really important because if I sit there and I'm just believing in the fears that I'm having or the anger that I'm feeling about the rent going up or, the fact that I even have to make this decision and whatnot, I've learned to recognize that there's always a steady, constant part of me that is connected to um, that's just fully connected to myself, connected to something greater than myself, that's calm, that's wise, that's grounded, that has the answers or has the direction, and knows that maybe doesn't even have the direction, but knows that all is well and all is unfolding well. So when I can get connected to that part of me, I just kind of call that part forward. Like, okay, I need the part of me that that isn't tweaked about this whole scenario and the whole situation. I need to check in with that part of me so that I can really check in about next steps. So for me, as I was talking it out with sisters and friends, and my mom, and I'm talking it out. Sometimes I even talk it out by myself as I'm walking. Just talking it out loud helps me really just kind of hear and kind of work through the various layers. And then it got to the point where, so then I could hear more of myself. I started to hear what was important to me, and I started to catch myself when I would worry to instead like affirm things like, again, this is all happening for my highest good. If it was this or something better, what might I be asking for? And so that working with myself rather than staying stuck and focused on the problem, because if I was just in worryville, then I would be, or angryville or frustratedville, which I was for periods of time. Um, when I could catch myself and start working with myself, then I started to encourage myself to like, well, if this is really what I know to be true is that it's always this or something better. Taught me that at grad school, taught me that at when I worked for the School of Women Arts. Like it's like something that I work to live by. So if it's this or something better, what might I be asking for? And I know I talked about this a little bit yesterday that I started listing out the different things that I wanted, but to get even deeper with that, I am someone who has been working through for many years how to allow myself to ask for what I want. That there were so many times as we all have growing up, different limitations on income levels or different limitations based on our parents and what their beliefs were or whatever. So I was really having to work with the parts of me that to encourage myself that it's okay to ask for what I want. And it was that working with that part of me, talking to that part of me, encouraging that part of me. Like, I know, like, when you'd ask for things in the past, you were often told no. But guess what? We get to choose now. So if we got to choose and we got to at least say and ask for what we want, and like, or just advocate for ourselves for what we want, then what would we ask for? And that's what led me to water views and pool in the building and just like giving myself the freedom to not go the route of what I thought was possible, not go the route of what I thought was reasonable, not go the route of, well, not feel limited by, I had like a range of amounts that I wanted to spend. So I put that in like, hey, I get to even ask for, I want all this and I want it to be in this price range. Is there anything even available? And that's when this building in Coney Island popped up. So I just wanted to affirm for you all that sometimes it's not like I can just plop, none of us, well, maybe there are some people, but for me, I can't just plop down and listen to my inner guidance. It's not always that clear. It's a process. And the other thing so I talked to my friends and whatnot, and I also talked to my coach. I worked with my coach on like, what was in the way and what I really wanted to do and whatnot. So sometimes you need to talk it out with other people. Sometimes it's going to be, some people like movement. I have clients that move it through their bodies and that helps them listen. Sometimes it's working with and encouraging a part of ourselves that is needing to be, given some inner support and encouragement to be more fully expressed. Sometimes that's required. Sometimes people will do things like ask for signs. In retrospect, I was looking, I realized something had popped up in my feed that I had saved on Facebook, and it was a piece of art that I was looking to buy, or like a poster or something. And I realized here it was a picture of the ocean, and it said, I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm on my way. Now, I had picked that out like a month before I even knew about the lease increase. I had picked out before I knew about all this. I'd gone to Bath and Body Works and was picking out new shower gel, and one of the shower gels that I picked was called Beach. Like, I just love, it's like the universe and life is always working with us and giving us little inklings of what's to come. So anyway, just wanted to encourage y'all, listening to your inner guidance is not some quick like magic. I don't sit down and meditate. I have my own ways. Some people do meditate, and that's fantastic. But we're all on a journey of like figuring out what works for us. How do we listen in? How do we make choices that feel aligned, that feel true, that feel like what we actually want versus our conditioned selves and what we think is possible. So anyway, hope this is helpful. Take care.